Hi, welcome back to the Paper Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan James. This is the third clip in the series of my speech at FSPA, and this one has to do with crypto, my thoughts on it and where it's headed.
Crypto. I don't know how you guys feel about crypto, but I like the idea of having crypto outside of central banking system. You know, when I started in banking in 2001, we had 15,000 banks. Now we have 4,300, 4,400 banks. And with what's gone on in other countries of banks seizing accounts for, a little lady that's sending $20 to a cause, and yet her checking account gets frozen, that's scary. And we like to think that could never happen in the United States, but I don't know. So I do think there are some places in crypto, but with every new product or innovation, you're going to have a proliferation of people that get in there and take advantage. And so with stable coins that were supposed to be backed dollar for dollar, they weren't stable. These companies were never audited. They weren't backed by dollar for dollar. You may have some out there that are, but the idea of Bitcoin and the idea to be able to hold your own money, I do like that availability. Obviously, we profit off the money going through the banking system, but I don't think it's a bad idea to also I don't look at crypto as a competitor. And we have companies and individuals that may own a mining rig and they need a business account to pay their businesses. And now, really what ruined kind of crypto in that was Wall Street. They just dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into it, and it's going to be the next best thing. Because nothing's ever as good as it seems, and nothing is as bad as it seems. So I think crypto now does have a place, but as a business, there's a lot of good things about accepting Bitcoin. If you're selling a high-value product and service and you accept Bitcoin, one benefit is you won't have a chargeback, because the level of chargebacks out there is just horrendous. And this administration wants to get rid of the junk fees, and they want to. And the CFPB, Consumer Protection Bureau, is going across all aisles and trying to tell everybody what they can and can't do. They never talk about really consumers have created the vast amount of financial fraud out there. We see it at our bank of consumers that will dispute their debit cards, even though that customer, and you can see that they made that transaction, but you can't write out and say, no, I believe you're a liar, Johnny. But when it gets close to payday and they're running low, they're very apt to say, I'm disputing this $50 charge. And really, 9 times out of 10, they win that dispute and end up eating the cost of it, the bank, on a lot of charges. Anything under $100, I swear, we end up eating. And every time we dispute against the networks, somehow, lo and behold, there's some reason that we can't go through with it. And so there are some good plays in crypto. I'm not a zealot on crypto. I'm really not a zealot on anything, but I like the idea of having crypto and Bitcoin out there for everybody. Does anybody here ever accept payment in Bitcoin? Have any of you guys ever thought about accepting payment in Bitcoin? And prior to the FTX collapse, which was complete fraud, I can tell you we would have never banked them because their audits were done by the firms that owned them. So there was no arm's length transactions done, anything in there. And when we take on any customer like that, we look at their third-party audits, we look at their AML programs, and then we not only look at it, we test it. We just, hey, here's a sample, what did you come up with this? And if they can't answer something in a day or two, we're done. We're not going to carry forward any of that. So banks were really heading into it where they were wanting to offer crypto on the online banking portal. So, when you're doing your online banking, to where you can, I want to buy, $100 worth of Bitcoin. That was really heading where banks are going into it. And now banks have really pulled back on offering that. I don't see anything wrong with offering it, just have full disclosures, knowing everybody, they're non-securities, but the SEC, they need to really make a rule on whether or not they're government. And there just needs to be some simple rules, but in a way I think of Bitcoin a lot like the Western Union and the MoneyGram and things like that. Even though it may not benefit you guys, but if you live in another country with even way more rapid inflation than we have here, you would rather have your money in Bitcoin than you would in the Venezuelan money or many of the South American countries. So there is a place for it, and there's still, I think, 250,000 transactions a day that are going through on Bitcoin ledgers. So yes, but the biggest thing I do, if I was selling a high-end product across seas, I'd be so happy to sell Bitcoin instead of credit card, because then I know there's no chargebacks. I can build in that trade, immediately convert to USD, and sell my products. So that would be one thing that I would be looking at accepting. And I think for large businesses that have large dollar sales, that could be a need to be able to accept crypto as sales, as long as they convert it immediately and not have any fluctuation in the market. Big technology needs that I'm looking for. In 2018, I was the first bank that went over to the Nevis platform. I left a legacy core that time, Fiserv, and the main reason I left it is the existing contract. Like I said, it was costing me $7.25 per month for every customer, and the way they provide it. And it was truly unfair, because every time we added a customer, every got online banking, it didn't affect them, but yet they were charging for it. And I have no problem paying for something that affected them. If their costs went up, then yes, our costs should go up. But it didn't. So, and what really I found the benefit of switching core that I didn't know at the time was my employees that embrace change, they really excel. And we saw that there were so many policies and procedures that we were doing that were a complete waste of time, that we were doing in 3 different places. And then when we really examined and went through it, we were able to get a lot more operational efficiencies. And that was just an amazing byproduct of switching the core. And we're nearly a 100-year-old bank, and our core contract's coming up, and we may change cores again, and where most banks are really afraid of it. I'm looking forward to getting better and better technology, because as I say, Surety Bank's $200 million, we're processing $4 billion a year in cash, profitable, and that's from technology. So there's no reason now. It's amazing. We can stay a boutique-style bank and offer services not only nationally but internationally. And now there is online banking and stuff that is as good, if not better, than what Chase and everybody was offering. And I'm in a lot different place in 2018 as a bank, to where now, as we've grown, even though my cost and expense, I'm going to save a lot of man hours, because I've got some really good employees, and the only way for me to keep them is either to grow or increase my margins, because they deserve to make more money. So I would rather keep my solid employee base and grow income to keep them than keep throwing bodies at my organization.